Okay, we've completed one full test. Good news. The cutout is 11 volts, which means with my 300 amp battery, I could probably charge it from 0 to 100% at least twice. And I also uncovered a couple improvements. I noticed when I was using the Charger One app on my phone, there was a difference of 1.1, 1.2 volts difference. For example, my SFK battery BMS would report 12.89 volts, while the Bluetti app on the Charger One would say 11.1 or 11.2 volts. So there's a difference of a little bit over 1 volt, which is critical because when it shut down, it was reading 11 volts according to the Charger One, but my battery was still 12.89. I had another few more hours of use. But regardless, it was still more than enough to charge the Bluetti Elite 200 version 2. So I'm very, very happy and impressed. Technically, I could use battery as a generator instead of actually using a generator. And you don't have the smell of gasoline or having to deal with fluids. I had a short little video I took while testing to check the temperature. And at the battery, and it was cool, maybe about 3 feet or so in the run of the cable. It started to feel a bit warmer. I'm assuming that this cover was probably keeping the heat a little bit. As I got closer to the breaker, it was hot. No, I shouldn't say hot. It was much warmer. And when I grabbed the breaker itself and held it, it was very, very warm. After I finished testing, I went and checked the connection on these. I had one screw. I could turn another, let's say if we're using a clock, from 12 o'clock to about 4 o'clock. That's the amount of turn before it felt it was snug. The unit itself was cool. The fan was running, so there was no heat issue within this unit. It was warm. Lukewarm, barely warm. So I was happy with that. But I was still looking for possible other issues, and I started to look at the cable they provide, and I noticed, and you can read it on this cable identification, the gauge is 16. 16. This cable is probably, 6 feet long, so you're talking about electrically 12 feet of 16 gauge wire. This little connector that they provided so you can do quick disconnects and so forth, I believe it's 14. So there is improvements I can do. I could set this up in my truck and have it ready in case I need it. And I could make another set, shorter cable lengths. I think number 6 is adequate, especially if I have everything, the battery and the unit close together in one spot. Say within 5 feet or 4 feet, probably 4 feet. So all the cabling will be within 4 feet. And I would replace this with number 10. I will replace this with number 10. So this way, the difference between the voltage reading will be very close, and it will allow me to operate probably for another hour or two from this battery. 12.89 is lots of voltage there still on lithium. So anyways, but regardless, if I was using a fully charged battery, fully topped, easily recharge the Bluetti 200 twice. And if it's efficient enough, probably even a little bit more. But anyways, that's the good news. And I thought I mentioned what I saw about the cable and some of the options here. So the next thing is, well, the cigarette lighter. Unfortunately, with the cigarette lighter concept, you're only talking about 100, less than 150 anyways. I will test it just to find out. I would prefer to use this. Anyways. And there's one more other area I have to determine. I'm getting conflict information online, and the Bluetti, you only can charge in two methods at the same time. AC and solar. AC and the charger 1. But you cannot use the charger 1 and the cigarette lighter. You can't have both. There's going to be a voltage difference, and they do warn the possibility that you can cause damage to your device. So the next question is, can I use the charger 1 and the solar? I get answers saying yes, and I get answers saying no. And the little bit that I've seen from the Bluetti, it almost seems like you can do it, but it has to be the same voltage. So then it becomes important. You don't worry about going over 1,000 watts. You don't worry about going over 20 amps. The Bluetti will ignore it. It will just limit that. The only thing you have to be careful of is the voltage. So you just basically set it in the 56 volt range. So if you can get your solar panel voltage to around 56 volts, not exceeding 60 at any time, I think it will work without any issues. That again, I have to prove because of the conflict of information online. Lots of misinformation depending on whose video you're watching. So I'm sure most of it is probably just not deliberate. I make mistakes too, come to different conclusions sometimes based on something I've read, thought it was confident, until I started testing it myself. So that's the report from the first test. This unit works beautiful. From 0 to 100%, you're talking about 4 hours running off a lithium battery. And we got plenty of those, so we have a lot of options. And of course, we have the generator. I'm going to do a generator test on it too eventually, just to see. how well it works, and what else? That's it, I think. Again, hopefully this information will make you aware of some of the possibilities, and you don't want to spend a fortune and blow it up because of misinformation. And I'm definitely going to make another set of these, but it will fit within 4 feet. So I don't have to hack this and then definitely replace this. I tell you, if this was cheaper, then I'd probably get a second one. But anyways, take care. Please subscribe if you haven't. And hopefully eventually I'll have a better camera and video set up. Unfortunately, I have to do a lot of it by hand. But anyways, until next time. Okay, I have a case where I could keep everything nice and safe until it's permanently installed or something. Okay, let me check. Okay. Okay, at the battery, it feels cool. About 3 feet away, I feel it warm. Much warmer here. Battery, not the battery, but the breaker is very warm. Not hot. This would be the hottest spot right here. Oops, buses, go away. I don't want you to electrocute it. I don't feel no heat here. Just normal temperature. The box is lukewarm. I'm gonna have to check the connections on this because I didn't verify if it's been tightened enough. Seeing this is the hot spot there, I would suspect there's a poor connection here or not tightened. I'll check that later. I'm using here 500 watts. It's pulling 447, and of course it's charging at 539, so it's holding at 99%. In fact, it may even hit 100% over a period of time, because it has a bit of spare charge. Well, I needed a bigger load. It hit 100%. And yet I have lots left on the battery. If you haven't done so, it would be appreciated. Please subscribe. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day.